team won. How's this sound? The best team in football all year was the Seattle Seahawks, whether it be coaching. Their offense was really good this year. I know it wasn't the same when Charbonnet got hurt. That being said, their defense, phenomenal. Special teams, awesome. McDonald was great. Hey, the whole story of the playoffs, a lot of this was, everyone's going for it on fourth down, making no sense of anything. What do the Seattle Seahawks and Mike McDonald do? They go for on fourth down less than any other team in football. And you know what they did? Rack up field goals and win the Super Bowl. So deserving on that, extremely deserving, worthy champion, Seattle Seahawks. As far as the Patriots go, I mean, listen, the better team won. You know, no way am I ever gonna blame injuries in football. That's not what I do. That's not what I do, regardless of how certain guys looked, about how maybe they were missing passes or getting thrown away. Seattle won the game on the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? That's where this game was won, on the line of scrimmage. And dude, Donald was begging to give the Patriots. I mean, that first ball he threw right at Marcus Jones, I couldn't believe Jones didn't pick it. I was like, no turnovers. Oh my God,
the first throw, you should have been a pick six.
Dude, Sam Donald was holding the ball up. I'm like, you know, again, good for Sam Donald. Incredible story to come from, you know, where he's come from and what he's done in his career and stuff like that. But I mean, this was the defense that won this game right here. So, credit to the Seahawks. What a season for the Patriots. If you would have told me they would, I mean, I remember we did that stream after the friggin' Steelers game. I couldn't believe the team. You know what I mean? If this team
when we beat you guys because you fumbled twice at the 1 yard line. That was week 3.
Yeah.
After the Steelers had just lost to the Seahawks the week before.
God. It was, you know, and so as far as that goes. That being said, all right, yeah, the Patriots got beat, but everyone's sitting over here complaining like, oh, well, Denver, they weren't there. The Broncos weren't there. The Bills weren't there. Like, all these other teams that everyone thought was so good, like, when everyone said, like, oh, the Patriots had an easy path to the... Saying there's an easy path to the Super Bowl is like, what is that, a double entendre or a contradiction, whatever? There's no such thing as an easy... Now, can breaks fall you away? Of course. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's never easy getting to the Super Bowl. I don't care what conference you're in, division, who you play. That you get to the Super Bowl, that's a lot. Now, coming back from it, that's tough stuff. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. But they never got anything going in this game offensively. And Seattle was just, listen, steady Eddie. You know what I mean? Get down there, take time off the clock, play defense.
Win the field of possession every single time. I said my Super Bowl MVP was Michael Dixon, man. The punter for Seattle was incredible.
He was great. And I say the only thing I wanted to bet on this game, the only thing I liked the Stevenson touchdown, which didn't come. Well, actually, I think he caught one at the end.
He caught the touchdown.
But I loved the under in this game. Everyone who thought this game was going to be and this game shouldn't have even been
this much.
No, I loved the under in that, just because I knew that it was going to be field possession and defense, and Seattle always takes the 3. So, that's what I love. I mean, we were all talking about on here. It seemed like everyone on here on the stream was saying over on Friday. I never thought it was going to be that type of game, especially knowing May's not all right healthy. You know what I mean?
It almost went over.
Boy, it shouldn't have even been close to going over.
Drake made that touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson. Should have been an almost was half an inch off the ground from an interception.
It shouldn't have even been close. You know what I mean? This game. Now, granted, this game it didn't reflect. Look, when you look at it, as far as it didn't go over. This game felt like Seattle won 42-10. That's how much of an ass whooping.
The Kenneth Walker, like. That 60, when he broke open that touchdown, I know, right? Yeah. That could have been one.
Well, they don't have, again, the Patriots, the edge rusher, they never had an edge rusher at all this season. They just never had it there. Same way they don't have depth on their offensive line. They won 4 games a year ago. You got to bring that in. And everyone's saying Seattle had a major turnaround this year. They did. They certainly.
They were the 7th seed last year. They were a playoff team.
No, they missed it last year.
Oh, they won.
But they won 10 games last year.
Yeah, they were 10-7. I remember they were 10-7 last year. I thought they sneaked in.
No,
you're right. They didn't. They were the first team out.
They missed it right at the end. You know what I mean? Again, they certainly upgraded this year. You know what I mean? So Sam Donald deserves credit. Mike McDonald, John Schneider, and again, all those morons out there, let Russ cook, and Seattle's the problem in the front office. How good was the trade for when they traded Seattle when they traded Russell Wilson to Denver? The players they got.
Devin Witherspoon in that trade. The draft picks, I think, to go accumulate like other defensive guys.
All guys.
They turned DK. They turned DK into Nicky Manwari. Yeah. They turned. I mean. They sign Ernest Jones from the Rams. They draft Byron Murphy. They draft Derek Hall. DeMarcus Lawrence comes over from the Cowboys.
Getting major production out of Cooper Kupp later on in his career.
Which, mind you, the Rams told everyone not to sign him in the offseason, right? They traded 4th and a 6th round pick for Rashid Shaheed, who comes out. And, I mean, you know,
and they
re-signed
him.
Is it official they re-signed him?
I thought he got an extension during the season.
I don't know if he officially did, but I remember I thought it was very interesting seeing he had some tough punt just catches. Like there was a lot of pressure. He had like 5 or 6 punts that he had to catch. And I kept thinking, like, the players are coming right to him.
Oh,
these guys are standing right here. It's like, oh, man, that stuff scares me so much. But
against Schooler, too, on the Patriots, who he's 6'5" and fast. And when he hits people, he punishes them.
He hits people. So, I mean, who would have thought Mac Hollins led the whole game in receiving yards? You know what I mean? Like, Kenneth Walker absolutely dominating on the ground.
Yep. He could get around he could get around the edge. It came back to not having an edge rusher this year, which, again, They just didn't have, like, you're not going to, like, you can't get guys. You can only get so many guys when you're such a lousy team. You know what I mean? Like, they'll end up having the edge rushes and stuff next year and stuff, but you can only have so much turnover every year. And they hit on all their free agents, but they never had a guy off the edge.
You got to talk about their offensive line, too, and how terrible it looked all day.
Totally. Well, again, I'm not blaming injuries because I think if this team's healthy, the Seahawks still win. But it's like, again, Campbell was fine until he got hurt this year. Everyone's saying Will Campbell needs to go to God and stuff like that. You know, again, he got his ass kicked the other night. No doubt
specifically
about that.
by DeMarcus Lawrence, though. Like, who would have thought a $35 million guy who's been in the league for 10 years, playing for the Super Bowl playing a meaningful game for the first time in his career, because he's been in Dallas for a decade. Who would have thought that he runs through a rookie left tackle all day?
Yeah, like, who's, again... He's not healthy. Like, Campbell would have, if this Patriots team was out of it, when he got hurt in week 12 or 13 or whatever it was, they put him on, he would have never played. Yeah. You know what I mean? They needed him to come back. You know what I mean? So, but no, they're ferocious up front. You know what I mean? Like, their whole defense is good. You know,
play of the game, I thought the coolest play of the whole game was that Riley Mills sack. This 98 white dude where he stiff-armed your left guard all the way through Drake May and, like, tackled him. I was like, oh, a 5th-round rookie is doing it. Like, I was like, oh, my God. That's when you know your D-line is just...
Jared Wilson had a tough game. I knew early on it was going to be a tough... I mean, you know immediately when a team's offensive line's getting annihilated. You could tell that the first 2 possessions of the game. You're like, it's going to be a long one. But there was a play where Campbell was finally holding... It wasn't Lawrence. It was one of the...
Like Hall or something, Derek Hall.
Dude, Jared Wilson came over and hit him, but he bounced him off of the block.
And then it ran around and sacked him.
Just helped the momentum. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yes. I remember that play.
The bounces are going to go Seattle's. Again, they're the better team, but it's like the better you get, like, you know, they say the better you are, the luckier you are. And Seattle wasn't lucky by no means. This was the best team this year.
Oh, yeah.
They won the Super Bowl because they're the best. But, like, those bounces, they go their way, you know, so... it was just one of those days. You know, it's like, again, great season for the Patriots. It's like you got to feel good about the Patriots going forward in the sense no one expected this team to even be a playoff team. If you would have told me before the season Patriots had been a playoff team, I would have said they would have slipped in on like the 6 or 7 seed. Yep. You know what I mean? 6-7. But I wouldn't have thought they would have won the AFC. I wouldn't have thought they would have won in Denver. I wouldn't have thought they would have, you know.
And a lot of good things, too. Like, Christian Gonzalez played the best. I mean, you guys would have lost this game by 50 if Christian Gonzalez didn't exist. Like,
he's incredible. He's such a good player. I love Gonzalez. I mean, he's another one. It's like he's up for his extension this season. They got to give that. You have to extend Christian Gonzalez.
Especially after that game.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like, I would have liked for him to have that interception at the end of the first half. Like, looking back, you think, oh, maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But I'm like, they just never got any momentum at any stage of this game going. You know what I mean? Which I'm like, again, it's tough to do that against Seattle, you know? Seattle also had much more fans at the game than
Oh, my God, it was like almost a home game.
Yeah. Granted, it is geographically closer. Washington's much closer to California than New England is, but they were loud there. They have some of the best fans in football, so they did their job. Shout out, worthy Super Bowl champion. And as far as
they did it their way too. They at no point did they alter their game plan. At no point did they change who they were.
They weren't all of a sudden going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to go for it on 4th down here.
Exactly.
Again, 3 points every single time. Again, and in this age of all this analytical nonsense and stuff, and this craziness,
Sean Payton, go for it.
I know Sean Payton. You know. This Ben Johnson, LaFleur, they all did it this year. They all were doing it this year, except really for the Patriots in Seattle. And I mean, again, you talk about who could have been the MVP of this game. It very easily could have been Myers as well.
Oh my God, Jason is 7 for 7 in kicks in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like that was it right there. It's like, so, but no, I enjoy. It's like
I thought it was a fun Super Bowl, even with the Patriots going scoreless. I thought it was awesome to watch how Seattle's defense did. I thought it was so fun too to have Nicky Manwari be that nickel blitzer for the entire playoffs, and then switch the side and have Devin Witherspoon coming at Drake May every other play, especially on those third downs too.
Oh my God.
The defensive, I mean, incredible to then move Josh Jobe and Tariq Woolen on the outside, move Witherspoon inside, Nicky Manwari, you have no idea who's blitzing. Then they bring blitzes from random D-line. I mean, their schemes on defense, like what could Drake May have done? What could, there was a couple of throws he straight up missed, and that's expected out of a first-year starting quarterback, right? But there was a couple of throws that Sam Darnold should have missed, and they just, Sam Darnold did miss.
He missed the jigger on what could have been an 85-yard touchdown off the second drive of the game.
I was so sad about that.
But you look at this, you look at everything. It's like, again, be honest. Let's be honest about the Patriots right here for a second, okay? Seattle's the much better team.
Much better.
Okay, May was banged up, and he was jumpy in the pocket. The reason, of course he's going to be nervous in the pocket when immediately right off the rip, he got his ass kicked the other night. Like, bro, he was getting hit, and he was getting hit hard. It's like, dude, I saw Tom Brady, who is, with all due respect to all these other guys, levels and levels above them. And I seen Brady get his ass kicked in games. Even he would be jumpy in the pocket. Like, dude, when you get hit, and you're constantly getting hit, and you don't know where it's coming from, you're going to rush passes, you're going to get nervous, you're going to hold the ball too long.
And I hate to say it, Sam Darnold had a good 2-quarter stretch in this game where he was playing the exact same way. Between the second and third quarter, he was jumpy as hell.
I could not believe the Patriots didn't get a turnover on this guy.
I know.
Again, but they could run the ball. The thing they could do the other night,
like
they got it right by making Kenneth Walker the MVP in this game, because that was the whole game right there. Like, again, their defense was, but when the first few drives of that game, when they were getting sacked and Marcus Jones almost had that interception. Now, Seattle got the field goal that first drive of the game. The first few drives of this game where I'm looking at it, I'm like, I just thought it was going to be, the final score of that game was going to be like 15-12 or something, and it was just going to be turnovers, because the way Donald was throwing the ball and just letting the ball sit out there in the pocket, I'm like, the Patriots are going to take it, but they never did.
Never did. They got a couple chances, but it never got really in their hands. And then Drake May threw a horrible pass, unfortunately, on that was it Josh Jobe interception?
Yeah,
I think it was, It was Julian Love got the interception. Yeah, Julian Love.
Yeah, he threw a couple.
It was like, but it was funny. I saw someone doing a review of that play where he threw what looks like it's such a terrible pick, right?
It's all disguise.
All disguise. Like he dropped. So Drake May drops back. Seattle shows immediately that they're in cover 2. So he makes the correct cover 2 read, which is the over-the-middle deep ball play. But unfortunately, by the time that he has to make the throw, he had to take 2 steps up. And by the time that he put his head down to move up, Seattle disguised it from a cover 2 into a cover 4. So then they drop that linebacker straight back, or the safety runs from the middle all the way back. And boom, the cover 2 opening that Drake May thought he had is completely covered, but it's too later if he's going to get sacked or throw the ball, so he had to throw the ball, and then it leads to an interception. It's
the thing is
oh my God, their defensive identity is so good.
100%. But when again, it's like he didn't realize, like you said, it's, you see cover 4 a lot. It's like you could run against that if they're playing, when they play back like that, but the
not offensive against this
line
either.
Not with the offensive line he had in front of him the other night. It's like, again, all credit to Seattle. It's like their defense. Again, the reason the Patriots were in the Super Bowl is because of their defense. The reason Seattle won the Super Bowl was because of their defense. It's like, make no mistake about it. And that's what it was the other night. You know what I mean? It's like the Patriots never got anything going in this game. So, and that's that's not because the Patriots are incompetent. Now you could say, oh yeah, the play calling, you could blame them on that, but it's like Seattle won the game because they're the better team and they deserve to win the Super Bowl, and they're the best team all year. It's like, let's call it what it was.
Only lost by 9 points combined, and it would have been 5 points if Jake Tonkus doesn't moss Tariq Woolen in week 1 of the season. And I was going through their losses. I mean, Emeka Egbuka, they lost to the Bucks by 3 because Emeka Egbuka had a 7 for 130, 63 game.
That was a good game, yeah.
Like, this game became a shootout. Who would have thought Tampa Bay, falls off a cliff after beating Seattle in Seattle. And then they lost to the Rams, where Darnold threw 4 interceptions, and they technically had a game-winning field goal opportunity in this game to win it. Like, people forget that Jason Myers had a 61-yard field goal in the Rams, which previously in this stadium before that. He had
Indoors.
hit the kick.
Yeah, indoors.
In the former game before that, he had hit the kick to do that. So, like, yeah. I mean, Darnold, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They lost the game by 2 points to the MVP of this. Like, they lost by 3 points to the Buccaneers because they allowed Tampa Bay to score 25 points on them in the second half. And then Jake Tongas, I mean, they had this game locked up on Brock Purdy. And then Tariq Woolen just missed his guy on the last play of the game. And Jake Tongas had lost him on the last play, and they scored a game-winning touchdown.
They lost to 3 good teams. They lost to San Fran, the Rams, and Tampa, so... They did what they had to do. Again, they were the best team all year, so no question about it. I like how they did it, too. It's like, again, going back to everyone going for it on 4th down all the time, whereas, like, they never bought into that crap. And it's like, and again, they're smart enough to know they don't have to, especially when they have a kicker that nails everything and they have the defense that could go out there and be like, fine. Like, they were obviously comfortable with the Patriots the other night in the sense that we'll just kick the ball and win.
Yep.
And they could do that against a lot of teams. They could do that against a lot of. When your defense is that, you could do it. So I don't play. I'm good for them for not getting greedy and not doing anything because it's the right. I can't believe when you look back at this season, like the playoffs and just like later on in the season. I don't care about this analytics stuff. Makes no sense. The thing with the analytics is like, okay, I understand like looking at probability and stuff and like overall. But, like, it doesn't take into fact the situation of anything at all. Like, again, with Sean Payton. Like, I'll go back to Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a great coach. I like Sean Payton. Analytics would tell you, oh, they got to go for it. Analytics isn't going to tell you don't have a guy who hasn't thrown a ball in 3 fucking years.
Analytics isn't going to tell you Jamarcus Lawrence is 11 years older than Will Campbell is.
And Will Campbell's probably wouldn't be playing right now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like that's the stuff it doesn't tell you at all. And it's like, that's why you have a coach. And for McDonald, he's been a phenomenal coach. He was so good, So, good for Seattle. They totally deserved it. I mean, I guess I feel for Najik, but he got hurt this game. You know what I mean?
They won, so
yeah, exactly.
He said it before the game too. I remember they did the pre-game interview with him, and he was asked like, congrats on winning Offensive Player of the Year. Do you, how are you excited for your production in the Super Bowl? And he was like, "We're here to win. I'm not. He literally doesn't care."
100%. Well, that's why he's so good. He doesn't care about the end, and that's coaching. The whole team's bought in, and
he was one catch away from winning Super Bowl MVP, in my opinion. 2 yards away from that pass going. If that pass is connected, they win this game. I don't know. I think he could, if he's over 100 yards and a touchdown.
But, like, that's what I was saying, like, with this game where it's, like, again, like, not knocking Sam Darnold. He's won a Super, but he's Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? It's like, a lot of guys, should have been an easy touchdown, obviously. Yeah. That should have been an easy touchdown, so.
We should have been sacked before that, in my opinion. I thought he avoided the sack so well, and then he just overthrew the ball. It's like... But yeah, I completely agree. He only hit 50% of his throws, and Drake May technically has the record now for most passing yards in a single quarter of the Super Bowl.
Does he really?
He had 235 yards thrown in the fourth quarter of the game, and technically he
garbage time.
That's an NFL Super Bowl record, most yards passed in a single quarter of the Super Bowl. Drake May in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, garbage time. I mean, you talk about cover 4 and lax defense and all that. I mean, that's all Seattle was in that. I mean, they had the chance before that last interception. They had a chance to kind of make it close. Well, maybe was that his first? Did they call that a fumble?
It was an interception. It was a pick six.
The play at the end that got returned, they called that an interception?
Yeah, it was technically a pick six. It never hit the ground, so.
I know. I just didn't know if he got sacked for FA.
Yeah, it was technically Witherspoon hit his arm, ball landed in the air, and then it was what was his name? I think it was Uchenna Nwosu.
Yeah.
Returned it for the touchdown. But I mean, yeah, great defensive showing by the Seahawks.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah,
they outcoached the Patriots.
It's kind of funny too. Like you finally kind of saw, like, in the nice way possible, you kind of saw, Stephon Diggs and Kayshon Boutte just be completely taken out of this game.
Yeah.
Like, just Stephon Diggs never was able to break open on the outside, get any separation. Like, they weren't spreading the field wasn't spread enough to where they were creating, like, easy opportunities for themselves ever. And the problem was half of the Patriots drives felt like they started within their own 15-yard line. Like,
well, not to mention May was missing throws too. It's like, dude, he had Diggs on one of those, which should have been an easy first down.
He had Hunter Henry on a couple easy ones.
Collins. It's like there were plays all over the place where it's like he just missed. Even like he had a throw where Stevenson is like the second drive of the game. It's a third down. He hit Stevenson on a screen. Stevenson ended up getting the first down, but it was like the throw was like behind Stevenson. Stevenson kind of spun and got it. And then
I remember that. Yeah.
But it was like that was a play during the season where it was like that ball was on the money. Like that was the thing where it's like, again, that's how you know May's hurt. And again, I'm not. In no way am I blaming the injuries on this because Seattle was the better team, and I believe if Drake May was healthy, Seattle was winning this game. You know what I mean? But it was like, you see how hurt he is, where it's like, the one thing with May this year that was noticeable about him is the accuracy was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, when you saw May this year, it's like, the one thing I'll remember about him, like, yeah, he didn't have too many of those monster games where it was like, damn, Drake May threw for 440 yards. It was 260
No, I swear every game,
yards.
I think he, like, majority of his games this year were between 200 and 280. Like, every game for a stretch was...
But the completion percentage is what was outrageous. The completion percentage...
91% against Tennessee, 73 against Buffalo, 82 Carolina, 76 Pittsburgh, 83 Miami, 73 Jets, 80 Giants, 90 Jets. Like, oh my God.
It was but that's the thing. It was the accuracy where you look at it, you're like, whether it be downfield or short passes, and it's like, you know, again, I think where he got hurt was that play where Singleton hit him in Denver when he was running and then he went down. I don't think he was healthy. I don't think he was 100% before that, but that's football, though. You got to play through injuries. Like, you can't tell me. I mean, listen, Tom Brady was questionable, parentheses, ribs, for 7 years. You know what I mean? It's like, so that's part of it. You got to play hurt. You got to play tough, all that stuff. Oh, yeah. Hey, Sal, I'm fine. You know what I mean? I wasn't here yesterday because I'm like, I couldn't get home until I wasn't going to make it here on time. But this season, this was one of my favorite Patriots teams, just in the sense of, like, I never expected this to happen.
Who would have thought Ramondre Stevenson and Stephon Diggs are running back one and wide receiver one of a Super Bowl going to team? Like, that's incredible.
100%.
It's incredible. Mac Hollins led the Super Bowl in receiving yards. I mean, Pop Douglas was your second best receiver. I mean, even this guy was looked at as kind of a draft through, like, he hasn't been great since they drafted him.
100%.
Like,
100%.
Thank God you spent money on your D-line, but there were so many also.
Well, Craig Woodson at safety for rookie this year, he's impressed me so much.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Coming up in the run game, it's like he's not as physical as like Chung was, and he's like not so much like these new age safeties like you see with like I'm trying to think, the Kyle Hamiltons. He's like more of a tradition, like a Devin McCourty type safety in the sense where it's like he's fast, he'll make tackles, but he plays back. He was incredible this year. He was so good this year, Woodson, especially for a rookie going forward. I feel really good about him.
It's funny, too. I thought a big thing that we talked about before the Super Bowl was the Patriots' D tackles and the impact that they had.
Yeah.
They had so many good one-on-one moves, and the second they would get to Darnold, it was like they could never take the right step. Darnold kept just avoiding, taking one step the right way to avoid these guys. And I kept thinking, man, Milton Williams is like a hair away from three more sacks.
I know.
Tonga was like 2 steps away from a sack, but they just kept missing him. And then Darnold would avoid. That's why I think that's honestly why Darnold had that middle stretch where he was so inconsistent with his passes because they were getting pressure on him. The problem was they weren't getting sacks on him.
Listen, you look at this Seattle team. It's like, they got the weapons on the outside with obviously Najigba and Charbonnet was so good this year. Where I know that what's it called? I know Kenneth Walker's not really like a receiving. Running
that's why
back
they technically went to Helani and stuff.
And he can't block. He can't block. I understand that. One thing with Seattle that could have been exposed in this game was their offensive line. But it's like, again, the Patriots, they don't have a defensive end. They don't. It's like, again, as good as Milton Williams was and Barmore this year, those guys were great.
Cleveland Chase sometimes.
There's nobody else, but even him, he's more like a back.
That's what I'm saying. He's more like a
They don't have an edge rusher on the defensive line. It just wasn't there all year. You know what I mean? They were trying to make Landry that this year.
Yeah.
He's more of a linebacker, and he was banged up too. You know what I mean? So, you just don't get, if you don't have... Listen, these things always come back to bite you, you know what I mean? It's like their offensive line this year was shaky at times. It just seemed like an upgrade because the last few years has been so terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a great season by them, and the better team won. There's a lot of work the Patriots still got to do. It's like, even if they would have win this game, those problems weren't going to be there. But it would have been very unlikely to win a Super Bowl without a true edge rusher, It's one thing if you have, an edge guy that, say if, Green Bay would have found a way to do it. And listen, the Patriots team was better than Green Bay, but, if you were to get through, most of your season with a player like Parsons, then you get someone else in there, fine. But, you need to have a guy on the edge. You have to have a guy on the edge. They played an entire season without an edge rusher. It's the NFL. It's again, how many times did Sam Darnold throw 38 times the other night? It's there needs to be pressure on the edge.
1 sack for 8 yards for Sam Darnold compared to 6 sacks for 43 yards lost for Drake May. And honestly, I feel like there was probably similar levels of pressure overall. It was different.
Totally.
It was different pressure, obviously.
Different types,
Like Witherspoon coming in on those blitzes, and and Eman Wari coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
That really was. They did not. Unfortunately, the offensive line was just too inexperienced to be ready for that. Like there was this one play where Witherspoon blitzed from the right side, and the right guard, his job was to like chip the right tackles guy and then fall back into blocking. He chips him. Witherspoon literally comes in and runs inside of him, and the right guard is like. He's like a statue. Like he couldn't even move during it, and I was like, "Oh man, like
too fast."
That's when you know these blitzes are they're not ready for the schemes. They didn't expect it, and who would have thought Mike McDonald, after doing it all year, comes out with an incredible game plan in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, he deserves a lot of credit. You know, he deserves a ton of credit.
Him, John Snyder. Shout out to the Seahawks, by the way. They have the 6th most money this offseason in the entire NFL. So don't expect Seattle to just be one and done team and not come back to the Super Bowl, because I believe that this team could be, you know, obviously we got to see the health of the NFC West and the Rams, you know, and the Niners and what happens there, because that's such a division that's going to be good for a couple of years now. But Seattle is here to stay.
You look at the last like 5-6 years, it's like the only team. I mean, this is the second team now that's won a Super Bowl in that division, but it's been good all these years. Again, like this is a team last year, they had 10 wins and didn't make the playoffs. You know, so it can happen. You know. Usually 10 wins. 10 wins this year was pretty much putting you in.
Exactly. But you feel good? You're not.
My God. It's like, dude, as far as, listen, the coaching, I know the coaching the other night was like tough and stuff like that, but I thought this Patriots team, Vrabel won Coach of the Year, well deserving.
McDaniel, offensive player, offensive Coach of the Year.
But the thing is, going forward, it's going to be interesting is they had Zach Kerr, who stepped up in part of Terrell Williams, who had prostate cancer all year, who's really their defensive coordinator, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. You know what I mean? So, but it's like every offseason, there's always questions. Guys are going to leave. You got to extend guys. You know, Demario Douglas, Christian Gonzalez is the big one. Caleb Von Jason's an unrestricted free agent. Make no mistake about that. Caleb Von Jason, he's going to get the bag, as the kids say. Booty's up for extension. You look at those third-year guys this year, you know. But the biggest thing is, I mean, they have a young quarterback. I thought Drake May was awesome this year, you know. He could have been MVP. I understand that, you know.
Yeah, except for Justin Herbert getting a vote.
Yeah. Well, they'll get on watch, like, and it'll be all the same stuff. It's like people get on the Patriots about, like, the schedule and stuff, and I hear you to a degree with that, you know. But
what are they supposed to do? They're 4-13.
Exactly, 100%. You know what I mean? So it's like
I can't trust me. I just found out that the AFC North has like the easiest schedule of all time next year because of, you know, every team finishing basically, you know, the Steelers and the Ravens were the only 2 teams close to making the playoffs, and then the Bengals and the Browns were so bad. And now the AFC North next year, it's like the easiest schedule. I was like, this is all I want to hear.
100%,
like
100%.
Which is exactly how you guys should have felt a year ago. Like
yeah, but you look at Drake May, it's like you look at May, for example, it's like his playoffs, it's like, yeah, they weren't up to his par the way the regular season was, you know?
His 4 worst games, unfortunately, came all 4 in the playoffs, probably.
And you know what?
Legendary defense got him through 3 games.
Totally.
And
great coaching. And it's like, again, it's like it was his first year playing. It's like you saw, I listened to Travion Henderson. It was like, I don't know, 2-3 o'clock. He did a radio interview on Super Bowl Sunday. He talked to some girl. And she said right afterwards, she's like, he just looks exhausted. They're talking about trade. And again, there's rookies on Seattle, too. You know what I mean? There's rookies on every team. But she's talking about how Travion Henderson played all the way till mid-January last year with Ohio State, goes immediately into training for the combine and stuff like that, and then it's like rookie mini camp. Nothing stops. You know what I mean? May, this is his first. This is probably the most games Drake. It's definitely the most games Drake May's ever played in a season. You know what I mean? It's like this stuff happens, and it's like, you know, like Donald. It's like, yeah, Donald's not like the most talented player and stuff like that. There's no doubt about that. But
he's been on the block.
Exactly. Yeah, he knew what he had to do. He's totally understanding of what his team was, which was a defensive special teams team. I mean, listen, as long as he never turned the ball over, Seattle was never going to lose that game. You know, the only way the Patriots were going to win this game was they were going to have to turn the ball over.
I was looking at my buddy, and I was saying, this isn't, I'm not trying to knock Sam Darnold for anything, but I was like, there's probably 16 quarterbacks I could name that you could put on the Seahawks this game and win. Like, at least. Like, there is a good amount of quarterbacks that you could replace Darnold with and been like, as long as they don't turn the ball over in a stupid way,
they're going to win.
They're going to win the game. Like, you just need a game managing
guy. That's not a knock on him, though.
100%. Because a week ago, he just dropped 3 touchdowns and no interceptions against the Rams in what almost could be looked at as his Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, this was the Seahawks Super Bowl. So
absolutely.
And he played his butt off. He played incredible.
Yeah, they all deserve. You know, exactly. It's like, you know, he's worthy. He earned that ring. You know, you look at Minnesota, it's like that GM got fired a week ago. It's like they got to be kicked.
But now there's rumors coming out that like Kevin O'Connell gave the Seahawks I don't know. So it's not a good situation in Minnesota.
No, I know, but this is pretty much what Minnesota was trying to do last year. It was they had the elite receiver with Jefferson. They had the very good defense with Van Ginkel and all those guys they picked up. And
they had a run game they believed in.
Let's get a quarterback that's smart and won't try doing too much with Sam Darnold. This is what Minnesota tried going for last year. And hey,
they won 14 games.
Yeah,
if Detroit doesn't win 15, who knows?
That's another thing. Everyone's gonna make jokes about, it's Sam Darnold, he won a Super Bowl, this and that. Won 14 games last year, won 14 games this year. He's a good quarterback. Okay? Yeah. I'm not saying he's Matthew Stafford or Josh Allen or Drake May or anything. Sam Darnold's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Good. And that's a good thing. Okay? And he's also a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And you can never take that away from him, ever. For the rest of his life, he'll be a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yep. No, congrats to the Seahawks. As you said, the best team won.
Best team all year.
Best team all year won. But yeah, a lot of people were knocking it, saying it was such a bad game,
That's because everyone needs to be overstimulated and everyone has ADD and they're mad when the score doesn't go over. And, we need 65 points every game. We need a 75-yard touchdown. Again, this is why I kept saying this game was going to go under. I knew it was going to be about field position and defense. These teams haven't lied to you all year. You know what I mean?
They tell you what they're going to do, and they do it.
They weren't going to lie to you all year. It was going to be, and even you got the turnover and got the interception of whatever that play was at the end, the interception that got ran back at the end of the game, and it still went under.
Right?
It's like. This, that's what the game was, and they were better at it.
Shout out to Tariq Woolen for just missing one assignment all game, basically, which led to that Mac Hollins back shoulder touchdown, which, mind you, that was the first time I'd seen Drake May with, literally no pressure. Yeah. And he threw the best ball I'd seen in the whole game. That back shoulder touchdown throw to Mac Hollins, that was a beautiful throw. That was 40 yards downfield.
Well, Tariq Woolen, he would have been, if they blew that Rams game a couple weeks ago with what happened, regardless how stupid it was and how people feel about taunting and stuff like that, that would have been a name that would have been in infamy in Seattle. You know what I mean? He would have. Yeah. That would have been. You thought it was bad when that kid on the Redskins last year was running his mouth before the Hail Mary. Remember that game?
Yeah, of course.
You think that was bad? This would have been,
Levels.
I'm not gonna say Bill Buckner, but on a level of,
Seattle would be pissed.
Brutal. Well, we would have never forgot him. You know what I mean? Tariq Woolen, it's he's a good player and all that, but if you ask me in 10 years who Tariq Woolen is, I'm not going to remember.
You that.
Yeah, well, we would have said immediately. Now I'm probably not going to know who the hell he was, unless he, goes on and has a long career or something, but he got to be looking at this man, if this shook out another way.
This is how the playoff bracket went. Look at that. Rams beat the Panthers, Niners beat the Eagles, Bears beat the Packers, then Rams beat the Bears, which great game that turned out to be. Awesome Seahawks game. Dominated the Niners. Broncos Bills turned out to be such a good game after, Bills beat the Jaguars in a really tight 3-point game. Patriots obviously dominated the Chargers. Texans dominated the Steelers, but then Texans went on to lose. C.J. Stroud played bad against the Patriots, and then bang. Patriots-Broncos turns out to have the most weather implications in any playoff game that we've seen. And it leads to a Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the Patriots. And there you go. There's your Super Bowl bracket.
Fun season, fun NFL season. It was good. I'm not mad that football's over. I had enough football this year. This is the last couple of years, I think, with how long the season's been and how it's games on, especially after Thanksgiving, it seems like it's games 5 days a week. I'm ready for, I was enjoying the Waste Management Open the other day. Had Eki Matsuyama won for the third time. I was enjoying golf. I'm ready for college basketball. It's I'm good with football.
Yeah, no, this is by far. It was funny. I was looking through my notes and everything the other day. I really think I watched at least 1 minute of every single NBA game this season. Or NFL game this season. I really think I watched almost 1 minute of every game. Yeah. And that's the first time I think I've been able to say that I've watched every game this year. Even going through week 1, I was sitting on the couch for Red Zone watching all the Monday night games. I don't know if I missed any game this year.
Yeah, no,
so it's what a great football season. Capped off with the best team all year winning the Super Bowl. So
yeah. And you know what? Stuff. In football, the best team doesn't always win.
True.
So the best team doesn't always win.